Quick thing, nobody's putting this one on a billboard. Your bank doesn't actually want you broke. Broke is bad for business. A broke customer owes nothing, pays nothing, leaves. To them, that's just an empty chair. What they want is way more elegant than that. They want you almost okay. Floating, treading water, right at the surface. Never drowning, because drowning means they lose you. Never swimming, because swimming means you got away. Just floating, paying tiny little tolls to keep your nose above the water. Quietly, on schedule. That's not bad luck. That's the business model. You're not failing the system. You're feeding it. But here's the part that ruins their whole afternoon. There's exactly one number that snaps the machine in half. Not $1 million, not $100 grand, $20,000. The second your savings touches 20 grand, something goes quiet in their little money printer, and just like that, you stop being profitable. So today we're counting the 5 quiet ways they've been mining you this whole time, and watching each one switch off the moment you hit that number. I'm a capybara. Stress isn't really my thing, but this number, worth sticking around for. Welcome to Money Capy. So let's talk about life under that line, below 20 grand. You probably know the feeling. It's that little calculator in your head that never turns off. Can I get gas and groceries this week? If I pay the electric bill today, does the card payment bounce on Friday? How many days till payday? And is it even going to be enough? That math runs in the background of everything. While you eat, while you sleep, while you're pretending to listen to your friend's story. And every surprise turns into a full-blown event. The car makes a noise, crisis. A tooth starts hurting, crisis. The fridge quietly dies overnight, and suddenly you're Googling, how long does milk last at room temperature at 2 in the morning? You're one bad month from credit card debt, one layoff from a spiral that eats years, standing on a frozen lake in early spring, just hoping nobody jumps. That's not really living, that's just not sinking yet. And here's the cozy part. About 60% of Americans are out here on that same thin ice, treading water right next to you. So at least misery's got company. Doesn't make the water any warmer, though. Now, why 20,000? Why not 50 or 100? Because 20 grand isn't a fortune. It's a shock absorber. For most people, that's about 4 to 6 months of expenses just sitting there, doing nothing, simply existing. And doing nothing is the entire point. You've heard the advice. Build a $1,000 emergency fund. Cute. $1,000 is an umbrella made of tissue paper. Survives one drizzle. The first real storm, one ER visit, one dead transmission, and it's gone. And you're soaked anyway. 20 grand is a different species. Car dies? Annoying, not fatal. Lose the job? You've got months of runway instead of a countdown timer. Medical bill shows up. You'll wince, but you'll write the check. Emergencies stop being emergencies. They get demoted to inconveniences. Paperwork. Tuesdays. And that calculator in your head finally shuts up. You sleep all the way through the night. Wild concept, I know. But here's where it gets fun. The second you cross that line, you become a problem for your bank. Because below it you are, and I mean this with love, an absolute gold mine. So let me show you the 5 ways they quietly dig. 1. Overdraft fees. Last year, banks pulled in $7.7 billion in overdraft fees. Billion, with a B. That's not from the rich. That's from people who didn't have quite enough to cover a payment. The mechanics are almost beautiful in a cruel way. Your balance dips $5 below zero. The fee? $35. You just paid $35 for the crime of being $5 short. A cover charge to get into the club called broke. And if a few payments hit while you're under, each one's its own fee. I've watched people rack up $100 in charges in a single afternoon, basically renting their own poverty by the hour. But with 20 grand sitting behind your checking, you never dip below zero. Ever. The overdraft machine just starves. And they notice. 2. Desperation products. When you're broke and you need cash now, your options read like a horror movie. Payday loans at 400% interest. Title loans that'll politely drive off in your car. Credit cards parked at 29%.
A 400% loan is a fire extinguisher that's also on fire. It solves today's emergency by booking a bigger one for next month. And lenders adore desperate people. Desperate people don't shop around. They don't negotiate. They definitely don't read page 4. They need it today, and they'll pay whatever the sticker says. But with 20 grand, you never walk into that movie. Emergency hits, you open your phone, you slide money from savings to checking. No loan, no interest, no 400%, just your own money, showing up on time. Revolutionary. 3. Credit card interest. The average American carrying a balance hands the bank over $1,000 a year in interest. $1,000. For nothing. No product, no service, just a tax on not having the cash up front. People under the line carry balances because they kind of have to. The card becomes the emergency fund. Pay the minimum, watch the interest stack, repeat forever. But pay it off in full every month. Use their card, take their rewards, hand them zero interest. And the industry has a special little name for you. They call you a deadbeat. I'm not kidding. That's the actual internal term. You pay on time, in full, you owe nobody a cent. And to them, you're the freeloader. Because a customer who isn't bleeding just isn't worth much. So, real question. Put it in the comments. Anyone here proud to be a deadbeat? Because honestly, same. Let's get a whole channel full of them. 4. Account fees. Plenty of banks charge a monthly maintenance fee just to hold your checking account. $12, $15 a month. They'll waive it if you keep a minimum balance. $1,500, sometimes $5 grand, sometimes more. People living paycheck to paycheck can't park that. Money comes in, money walks right back out, waving on the way. So they eat the fee. $150 a year to store their own money. Sit with that one. You're paying rent to your own wallet. A coat check fee for cash that was already yours. With 20 grand, you clear any minimum without even noticing. Fee waived. Another little stream runs dry. And 5, the sneaky one, your emotions. This one's psychology, but it pays them real money. When you're financially stressed, you make worse calls. You buy stuff on impulse because your brain just wants one good feeling today. You take the bad deal because you can't afford to wait for a better one. You sign the high-interest financing because you need the thing now. Stressed people are profitable people. Easier to upsell, easier to pressure, easier to squeeze. A panicking brain is the best customer in the building. But 20 grand buys you something deeply underrated, the ability to stay calm. You can wait for the sale. You can walk out of the dealership. You can say, no thanks, and mean it.
The cushion doesn't only guard you from disasters, it guards you from your own 2 a.m. decisions. Okay, quick breath. That's the how. That's the whole machine laid out on the table. But here's the part that actually changes your life. And weirdly, it's got nothing to do with fees or interest. There's a moment coming up, your boss of all people, where this entire thing just clicks. Stick with me. Because here's what truly changes when you cross the line. And it isn't the number. It's your head. Below 20 grand, you're running on what I'll call 1% battery brain. You know the mode. Phone's at 1%, so every move is, will this kill it? You can't think past the next hour. You don't take chances. You don't plan long term because you're too busy keeping the screen alive. Above it, you get something boring and life-changing. Breathing room. Not yacht money, not quit and go find myself in Bali money, just enough that you stop flinching. And that's when options show up. You can take the job that pays a little less, but actually goes somewhere. You can pass on the deal that smells off. You can wait. And waiting, it turns out, is a luxury good. 20 grand is just how you afford it. So here's that example. Look at your job. Say your boss is a nightmare. The kind who jokes that you're replaceable. You know you should leave, but you're living paycheck to paycheck, so leaving isn't on the menu. At zero saved, you're trapped. And here's the ugly part. Your boss can feel it. People can always smell when you can't afford to walk. So they treat you exactly as badly as they figure they can get away with.
Now run the same scene with 20 grand behind you. Same job, same boss, same tired jokes. Except now you could walk out today and be fine for months. And the moment that's true, the air in the room changes. You're not begging anymore. You're choosing. The boss didn't lose their job. They lost their leverage. And that's the whole game, really. Car lots, apartment applications, salary talks, business deals. When you're broke, everyone's holding leverage over you. When you've got a cushion, that leverage quietly slides over to your side of the table. Same you, different seat. Okay, so how do you actually get 20 grand, especially starting from zero, or worse, from debt? No magic. 5 moves. 1. Find the gap. Money in, money out. Is there any daylight between them, even $100 a month? That's your seed. And if there's no gap, there's no clever trick. You either trim the outflow or grow the inflow. That's the whole menu. 2. Automate it. The day you get paid, money moves to savings before you ever see it, before your brain even files it as spendable. What you don't see, you don't spend. 3. Treat it like a bill, not whatever's left over. Leftovers are a myth. There are never leftovers. It's a bill, as non-negotiable as rent, except this time, the landlord is you. 4. Don't fumble the windfalls. Tax refund, bonus, birthday money, that goes on the pile, not into a weekend you won't remember. 5. Cut one thing you genuinely won't miss. You've got at least one subscription quietly charging you for something you forgot you signed up for. Find it, kill it, redirect it. Then just run the number. Save $400 a month, and that's $4,800 a year, roughly 4 years to 20 grand. Slow? Sure. But here's the unglamorous part. Those 4 years are coming whether you do this or not. You'll be 4 years older either way. Might as well show up to that birthday with 20 grand standing next to you. So no, 20 grand isn't the finish line. Nobody retires on it. It's not generational wealth. It won't buy a yacht. Your name's not ending up on the side of a building. but it's the first line that actually means something. Below it, you're always on defense, patching leaks, dodging fees, bailing water out of the boat with a coffee cup. Cross it, and for the first time, you get to play offense. Not surviving the month, building something. Taking the calculated swing instead of the desperate one. Sitting in a chair you actually picked. And here's what your bank would really rather you didn't clock. Their whole business, the fees, the interest, the 400% everything, it all rests on one quiet little assumption, that you'll stay under that line forever. So every dollar you stack is a dollar they can't pull back out of you. Every step toward 20 grand is one step out of the gold mine. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to get loud. You just have to get boring, calm, solvent, unprofitable. Be the deadbeat. Be the empty chair. Get to 20 grand and let them quietly hate you for it. All right, before you wander off, tell me where you're at. Drop your number in the comments. Starting from 0? From under 0? Already halfway up the hill? No judgment here. This is a channel of deadbeats, remember? Same boring, beautiful mountain, all of us. And if you'd rather the system stopped quietly mining you while you sleep, subscribe. Every week, I break down the money stuff that's actually happening to you, minus the panic, minus the get-rich nonsense. That's me done. I'm gonna go sit in some warm water and think about absolutely nothing. See you next time. This was Money Capy.